take a simple blood test, right?
It's possible.
Okay. And I guess that's up to the doctor that you're seeing, right?
Well,
Hey guys.
sure, or
Letting this
depends
come
on
in.
what concerns the person may have, what's their medical history, what's your awareness of other factors that are affecting their biological health.
So let's take Lindsay Clancy.
I know I can't pause it because it's live, so I don't want to spend too much time with it on mute, but we are going to go over this testimony in the Lindsay Clancy trial because I cannot stand this man right now. Like, who, this medical professional, no wonder Lindsay it suffered. No wonder she did. This man clearly does not believe in postpartum psychosis. He just doesn't. He thinks it lasts for only 4 weeks. And that's exactly why women suffer the way that we suffer. Anyways.
Much they would
if you want to come up,
down.
real quick, if you want to come up, just request a box. I just asked to keep it relevant to the Lindsay Clancy. If you have an opinion, anything, request a box. It's an open panel right now, so I'm pretty much allowing anybody up. So yeah.
As a result of her postpartum as well as postpartum depression, symptomology of postpartum psychosis in conjunction with the narcotics, the drugs, the prescriptions.
Chat, do y'all want to see the comments or would you rather just hear the audio? I could try to arrange my camera to where it can see.
How about thyroid? Is that something that's important to you as a doctor dealing with a postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis?
So just let me know.
Thyroid would be important to assess in a person complaining of mood problems, yeah.
How about a woman who is complaining that during the postpartum, which goes on ad infinitum, is complaining of postpartum depression symptoms and or postpartum psychosis? It's important to check their thyroid level, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It would be important to check thyroid in multiple different psychiatric conditions.
So the answer is yes, right? The answer is yes.
Well, I'm not sure that
I cannot
specifically
stand
answers
this
your
fucker.
question.
I don't care. Thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
Okay. Commonwealth redirect.
God, I cannot stand it. If you weren't here, I said if you'd like, you can request a box up. If you want. If not, it's fine. Just if you do request a box up, I just ask that we keep it relevant to Lindsay for right now.
Defense counsel kept referring to your investigation in this case. Do you see your role as an investigator when you're retained to do these evaluations?
It is a crazy trial, Gracie.
No.
And I don't like these
And in
sisters.
fact, you are evaluating
With their
for a
bows.
specific question,
The bows
correct?
get on my freaking nerves.
That's correct.
And in your evaluation in this case, you were asked to focus on the mental condition of Lindsay Clancy at the time of January 24th, 2023, right?
So, excuse me, he's able to answer yes or no, but this is direct, so I'm objecting to the lady.
I'm going to allow.
Oh. Hold on, y'all. It paused. It's coming.
Now, were you provided the information that you reviewed?
Yes.
And were you aware where that came from, whether it was the court or the district attorney's office or from defense?
Good morning.
I am not necessarily aware of the origin of any of the documents that I reviewed, only that I did review them and I did possess them.
And as far as the timing of when you were retained in this case, I believe your testimony on Friday was that your memory was early 2025 you were retained. Is that right?
Yes, I would say that the initial discussion about it
Trying to get
was
some
at the end
ladies
of
on the panel
2024.
so I can
I am not exactly
make it
sure
just
when
audio. I don't know.
Commonwealth or the district
I know
attorney's office
I don't
exactly
want to be
made the
where
retention
you
happen,
can see me in
but
the camera, but
I
I can try to
understand
make
it
it
to be
where you
early
can see the
2025.
chat.
And you were provided a significant amount of information after you were retained, correct?
Let's see.
Yes.
And that information continued to come to you
Yeah, see,
up
I don't.
until the point that you were going to meet with the defendant in April of 2026. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
And were you able to set up that interview with her on your own?
No.
Is it your understanding that it had to be with the permission of the court and the parties?
That's my understanding.
And that date in April was a date that was provided to you as a
I'm
date
going
that
over this
you could go
trial
and speak with her, correct?
because I can't stand this
Yes,
dude.
the 2 dates, April 10th and April 12th.
And
The look on
in
his
conducting
fucking
these
face.
evaluations, is it standard or best practice to review as much information as you can prior to that interview?
That's correct.
And you were provided records from the Tewksbury State Hospital in the weeks prior to your interview. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, when you're retained on cases, this case and any other, you're paid for your time and your work regardless of what your ultimate opinion is, correct?
That's right.
Can you explain to us the relationship that you have with Park Dietz and Associates?
Yes. There are times that attorneys around the country go to Park Dietz and Associates seeking or asking if they have an expert in a particular field, and Park Dietz and Associates may be able to propose one expert or another who might be able to help that attorney or law firm.
And so in your relationship with that company, you are simply an independent contractor, or are you employed by the company?
Independent contractor.
And fair to say, there's not kind of a group email that somebody can send out asking for experts on all these types of areas in which you testify, right?
No, the Park Dietz and Associates would go to individual experts that they think might be appropriate for one or another case given the topic.
Now, you were asked some questions about Dr. Halbrin, and I think last week on Friday you indicated that you didn't know him prior to working on this case. Is that correct?
Correct. I had never met him.
And so is he a name that was familiar to you in your area of general psychiatry?
I knew that he was another expert that works with the Park Dietz and Associates group, but I had never met him.
And in fact, he's not a general psychiatrist, is he?
I believe he's a psychologist.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so your focus is different than his focus, correct?
To some degree, yes.
Now, how did it come about that you and Dr. Halbrin ended up going to Tewksbury at the same time?
Well, my memory is that to the extent that he also had been retained, that there was a need that there was only going to be one opportunity for an examination by the prosecution. And so rather than create two different sets of interviews for Ms. Clancy, it was better to overlap them and have them happen concurrently.
And in relation to the purpose of the interview with the person being evaluated, the defendant here,
the look on his face.
was there anything different
I
about
just
your
cannot
approach
stand
and his
it.
approach as far as the information you were seeking to gather?
But look at this.
Generally, no. As has been mentioned, he
When
went
he
ahead and
stops
did
talking, you'll see
psychological
what I mean.
testing on
His natural,
the second
just
day.
smug, like,
But other than that,
shit is not
it's still
funny
the same
right now.
topic, the individual's mental health.
that right there.
And in regards to that particular,
I cannot stand that look
days that you
on
were
his
there,
face.
it wasn't just you and Dr. Halbrin in the room with the defendant, correct?
That's right.
Who else was in the
He
room?
carries a freaking natural smug.
One person who served as a videographer, two individuals who served as videographers.
Do you know who retained the videographer?
I don't.
And you're aware that Ms. Clancy was also on a one-to-one. So was there a staff member from Tewksbury close by, if not in the room?
Close by, but not in the room.
And the person who was conducting the video, they were in the room running the video the whole time?
That's correct.
And fair to say, as it pertained to taking breaks, you and Dr. Halpern offered the defendant multiple opportunities to take a break, correct?
Yes.
And
We made it clear that we could take a break anytime.
and she repeatedly declined a break.
Y'all,
Right?
please share my
I
live.
do.
They
I recall that,
restricted
yeah.
it.
And that would be contained within the video that was running throughout the course of your interaction with her, correct?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, I'd like to present as the next exhibit the recorded interview with the experts.
I see counsel at sidebar.
They're going to sidebar. One moment, y'all. Okay, sorry, y'all. Lordy, lordy, lordy. I had gotten a text from Miss Audrey. I had to go respond to her. I'm glad there are people on here that are actually listening. They're still on sidebar, by the way, but are actually listening and not taking what they're hearing and putting their own context on it. This person, I think this is like one of the very first times that I've seen somebody who isn't always on panel with me, who isn't like actually a friend of mine, go and spill a word for word the truth and what was actually said, instead of like that game telephone, you say one thing and something else. This person actually did. So that gives me a little hope, because man, they're on sidebar. If anybody wants to jump up or say in the comments, what do they think about the Lindsay Clancy trial so far? I don't care if you are Lindsay's guilty or Lindsay's innocent. I just want to keep it respectful. Nobody battle each other. You know, just say your opinion. We don't have to fight on why it should be something different or whatever. I just want genuine opinions on why or why not, if you think she is guilty or not. I personally don't. I know that she said she did it. And so that's really the only thing I have to hold on to, is because she said she did it. But a little like personal experience of mine, without going too deep into it. When I had one of my children, I don't even want to say which one, because I don't want anybody to be able to track down what dad this was, whatever. But there was a period of time where I like really thought that like he was cheating, or he was just doing the worst. Like him and his mom would talk about me every time I left the room. You know, like I just really thought like bad things, that everybody was out to get me. Or at least that's what he was telling me, that I was insecure. I needed to go get medicine. His mom told me I needed to go see a doctor. So I went because I believed it. I thought, man, maybe I am having like some postpartum issues. Maybe I need to see a doctor, And I was given 4 different medications to take. And over the span of 8 months, I took this medication and then found out that I wasn't in my head. He was cheating. He was talking bad about me with his mother. He was having people out to get me. He was ruining my friends. But he had me so convinced that this was all in my head because nobody would do that. Nobody would act like that. So I apply that to Lindsay Clancy and think, oh, they're back. We'll get back there.
No objection? No.
We'll get back
Dr.
there.
Mack, on cross-examination, you were...
Imagine being
God.
able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I don't care. There
You
you
recall that line of questioning?
I do.
And in that case, you were retained by the state of Florida?
I forgot I'm able to pause lives. Jeremiah. So she pled not guilty for mental illness. But earlier in the trial, she entered a stipulation of facts, and what that meant was she basically admitted to the acts, but she's claiming because of the mental issue, the psychosis, she's not guilty. Now, normally, they would never take away that stipulation of facts. Normally, that is something that stays and it doesn't go away. But under extreme circumstances, they will make an exception. Like if they were to receive some type of evidence that was just so extraordinary that they could not, ignore it, they would have to dismiss that stipulation of facts and continue the trial as if she was not guilty at all. That would have to be something. I mean, the DNA on the belts were not enough, okay, or on the bands. Like it would have to be like a video or Patrick saying he did it. Like it would have to be something so huge that they would take that stipulation of facts away because she said she did it. I argue, because of my experience, I was also going to doctors telling them that, I think I'm in my head. People are out to get me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm believing this. And it took 8 months for me to figure that out, that I wasn't tripping. And I was, in fact, like dealing with these things. And he was talking behind, like when I would leave the room, I shit you not, I'd go to the bathroom and I swear I could hear them talking. And but when I'd walk in, it's silent. And it would fuck with my head so bad because I wouldn't know. They're like, oh, you're tripping. So then I set up a recording device just to see if I was tripping, and I'll be damned if I was not tripping. As soon as I would leave the room, they would start, and as soon as I would come in, they'd be silent. Like they were fucking with me. They made me go take medication knowing that I was not tripping. These were actual things happening. These weren't hallucinations. This was them. But they didn't care because it was about them. And if they can do it, I'm sure I'm not the only woman in the world that has dealt with that. And I'm sure those aren't the only people in the world that has done something like that. So I think with, Patrick and Lindsay, even though she's saying she did it, she's saying she remembers it as an out-of-body experience. Like she doesn't remember doing it. She just remembers seeing it done. I'm just saying the evidence could support Patrick as a suspect as well, and they never even looked his way. And if she did do this, she was severely neglected by medical professionals who just kept giving her this drug. You can't do that. Even doctors, like when you get on medication just in a normal setting, they tell you it's not the end all be all. There is no magical pill. You have to do this with other things. So the fact that these doctors were just giving her medications as if it was the answer is beyond me. Exactly. And he lawyered up. While she was in the damn hospital. What would he need a lawyer for? He hit that lawsuit so motherfucking fast for that money. So fast. Like that's, man, look. And when you're a husband or a wife, you take vows. Okay? He failed her too. And I'll ask you this. Let's say that the roles were reversed. Can you really sit here and tell me that Lindsay would not be on trial for neglect or some shit for leaving her children with that man, knowing he said that he would hurt them? So why didn't Pat get in trouble for that? Because we know if it had been Pat that did it and Lindsay was saying it, they would have arrested her for that at least. Oh, you mean to tell me that he said he gave you warnings and you still left your children with him? Oh, they would have charged her. But because it's Patrick, no. That's ridiculous to me. The ADA and the DA, or it's either one. I forget if it was the ADA or the DA. They bought Patrick's fucking house. The lead detective was on a yacht with him a year later. Like, that's absurd. I know it didn't happen before, but that's one hell of a coincidence. I mean, I wouldn't be buddy-buddy with the lead detective. And then the way he doesn't remember, you know, if the bands were in a knot or this, but you sure as hell remember everything about Lindsay Clancy's fucking medical shit. You sure as hell remember what doctors did or didn't do, but you can't remember if the bands around your children's neck were tied or not. Bullshit. Exactly. His new wife, his brother that was like police chief or something like that. But see, my thing is, oh, he spent a GoFundMe for her? What do you mean, Cajun? Can you come up, Cajun? Or are you busy? We're only talking about the Lindsay Clancy stuff. I'm not answering any other questions about, you know, Gypsy or anything. We're gonna keep it relevant to. Here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm watching the trial. And look, there was one time when I was like 20, they put me on a low dose of Seroquel, and I thought I unalived my pregnant cousin. They had to sit me down. They're like, no, you did not hurt her. Like, it's the medicine. So I got off of it real quick because it was so vivid. I thought I did it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I'm saying, with the new wife, like, now this is just purely like going deep down, you know, like I don't know if I'll be willing to say this like on any official record, but the fact that the wife looks just like Lindsay.
She does. So when she said I was out of it, but I saw myself doing it in third person, I'm thinking that bitch was there helping him.
But that's such a crazy ass theory, you know, but crazy shit happens.
But if you look at that medicine, because I've been on a lot of that medicine, she was too sedated to do anything. If she was on Adderall or uppers, I'd understand. But the medication she was on, she's too sedated. I've been sedated like that in a fucking psych ward. There's no way. You're like zombies. You're not. And that's another thing. If she's on all that medication and you're going to work, living your best life, cheating, and you know she's on that medicine, how do you know your kids are being fed? How do you know they're being bathed? How do you know they're being taken care of? That woman pushed through the medication to take care of those kids. And another thing, if she knew she was going to do what she was going to do, why would she make sure the kids wanted to eat, call for the medication to be picked up? If you're going to do that to your kids, you're not worried about the medicine being picked up. You're not about to sit there and order dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Or you would have taken the kids with you. And
yeah.
Because you could have taken them all with you, you know, like Lindsay and all of them, get them out the house, you know, like, and see.
And the fact that they said she did that in 10 minutes, there's no way she did all of that and herself in 10 minutes.
Exactly. And then, like, I'm sorry, but I watched.
Exactly, Jeremiah. You can't even move on Seroquel. You get leg twitches, you're out. You almost at stroke level, like out of it on Seroquel, and that's even a low dose.
Now, hold on, let me say this. I saw the video before this trial even happened, before anything ever happened. Hold on, y'all.
Because they got it on right now, too. It's like day 19 of this. It's still that same guy with the Seroquel, whatever, talking.
So
Lindsay Clancy trial live.
The actions of him at that museum place. Boy, before this even happened, when them kids were alive, you left Lindsay to do everything with all of them. And I've seen that.
She took care of her. Look, why did his mom and his dad testify on her behalf, you know?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Why did his mom and her dad testify on her behalf? Because they obviously know something as well. You know what I mean? I was shocked to see his mama go on her behalf.
Let me say something about that, Keisha. Woo! When I tell you I wanted to jump to the screen because
me too.
A mortal sin. Excuse me. But I can't. The look on that mom's face while they were on sidebar killed me. I just wanted to hug her and tell her, don't you listen to her, because doesn't he in that same Bible tell you not to judge like that? So don't and listen to that.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like,
look, I believe he tried to Chris Watts her and she just survived.
yeah, I believe. Well, no, this is my thing. He did. That people keep saying he tried. No, he succeeded.
No, I mean tried. He did succeeded, but he didn't with her. Like Chris Watts unalived the entire family plus Shanann. What I'm saying is he tried to Chris Watts her, meaning that he tried to take out the whole family and her, saying she did it, but she survived. Now with Chris Watts, what you don't understand is whenever this happened, Chris Watts literally said, the reason I did that to Shanann is because she took out the kids.
Yes.
But no, Shanann did not take out the kids. I think Shanann showed up home early, and I think Nicole was also there, and I think Chris and Nicole didn't expect Shanann to be there, and I think they took them all out together. But that's why I say I think this man and his new wife did the same thing.
Yeah, I think his new wife definitely has to do with
She
it.
had something to do. Did you see the pass off in CVS?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Let me say something about the whole CBS thing. The fact, one, that he's like, it says, oh, he's wearing different shoes, and they said the video footage is too grainy to tell if he did in fact switch his shoes. So you could have said the video is too grainy to tell if he did in fact switch his shoes and say he did. But you chose to say he didn't. Like, y'all chose to go on Pat's set on what he said. Never did you. Like,
This bitch wearing a bow again.
maybe
This bitch is wearing a bow again, Shorty.
bow again. Yes.
Ugh.
Yes, the bow.
Not me in the parking lot waiting on this hoe.
The Sanderson sisters. That's what that one chick called them.
Sanderson sisters. There you go.
Like, I can't.
She's serious with the bow again.
Yes, and they didn't. They investigated the one survivor as the person who was the perpetrator, the fucking suspect. They never looked at the one who was.
He could sit there and say she talked to him all she want to, but you had 3 people testify she could not fucking talk.
Yep. And she didn't say anything about her kids until after Pat told her what happened. And
they're going off of what he's saying. Exactly. That's not, no.
Exactly. And all I'm saying, like I said in the beginning, I'm not saying that there wasn't evidence or Lindsay's own words to why she's sitting on the trial. It's not like they're just deciding. Like, I get that. But the evidence supports Patrick as well, and y'all never even look that way. And if you do, it actually makes more sense, because you're not trying to recognize this mental health, this psychosis thing, because it's very rare. Even though it happens, it's very rare where it gets to this extent. So then look at it, the other shit that does happen all the fucking time, that you do see that men murder their families. So look at it,
they do
that aspect. Could this have been Patrick? Yes, it could have been.
What, babe? No, it could have, for real. Because like I said, my ex tried to use medication against me and it didn't work. I got full custody and he don't even get to see her. He tried that shit on me too. And I don't even have the medicine no more. So, joke's on him.
It put me on, like, I believed him. That's why I said with Lindsay, I don't just go off of her word, because I spent 8 months telling a doctor I thought everybody was out to get me. The world is crazy. I'm hearing things.
You ended up paranoid.
Yeah, no, I thought I was paranoid, and then I set up a recording device, because my mom told me, just set up a recording device. Just because if you are paranoid, that might help you realize you're paranoid. Just set up a recording device and see. And I'll be fucking damned if when I left the room, they did not. And as soon as I walk in, they're silent. And in my mind, I'm thinking that shit's crazy. No, they were really doing that shit to me.
Yeah, good thing you set up the camera, dude. Because I'd have thought I was losing my mind too.
Exactly. And I've been on Seroquel before too, but I was a child. I was literally 15 years old.
I was 16 to 20 and I got off of that. I was like, nah. Because I'm not bipolar. The doctor did it for a reason, to get me behind the scenes and do stuff he shouldn't have. And we got his bar taken away. But no, not everybody needs Seroquel. But when you're on it and you don't need it, it will make you like schizophrenic or turn into like a paranoid person. Yeah. And you could tell me I did something, I wouldn't even be able to tell you if I did or didn't, because that medicine had me so loopy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know she probably didn't have the energy to do the shit, because we were on that medicine. We couldn't do nothing.
But listen. When I was on it, they put me on it because I had a 14-day spout of insomnia where I had slept maybe 3 to 4 hours in totality, like 30 minutes here, 10 minutes here within that 14 days. And at this point I was already in treatment for Stockholm syndrome when I was trafficked. So they were watching me already. I was already in a clinical like state.
Yeah,
And
and see, because of what happened with you, they want to do that with you, give you medicine, this and that, and that
well,
wasn't
no, I
necessarily
needed it.
what you.
I
Yeah,
needed
yeah,
it. They were
you needed
sedating me.
medicine, but not necessarily Seroquel.
Right. No. So, okay. So the Seroquel started off as we're just going to sedate her. We need to get her knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And they started me off with 200 milligrams. You know, I slept maybe what, 2 hours, 3 hours? 300 was 8 hours. Mind you, 14 days. That's not a lot of sleep. That's not enough sleep. They're expecting you to be out at least 24 hours and then start expecting you to wake up. It took
Yeah,
them getting me up to 900 milligrams
no,
of
that's too much.
Seroquel to
That's too much.
knock me out. And then they kept me on where like I never needed that 900 mil. Y'all are insane. My mom like barely ever gave me that medicine because what they had to do right after, they had to prescribe me Adderall to counteract the Seroquel
Mm-hmm.
because I would be
Then come
asleep
the
too long.
uppers. Yep.
Exactly. They're just literally keeping you up and down with drugs.
Kind of what they did with Elvis. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And Priscilla.
Exactly. It's like and this I'm 31 years old now. That was 16 years ago and y'all still ain't
Mm-hmm.
know.
And they still ain't. Yeah. That needed to be off the market. My dad started seeing his troops, and they gave him 1,400 milligram, and it just got worser.
No, that needs to be a strictly in the hospital patient care like stipulation. Y'all don't need to prescribe that for mental health.
No, but
That's
I could see why she thought she would have did it if she doesn't remember, because she was under, and they just told her, like she said, she heard a male voice. That was him. Like, come on.
and I'm sorry, but let's say
It made me gain weight too, Shannon.
why would you, Patrick? Why would you see your wife like and immediately where are the kids? And then when she told you, why did you wait until medical personnel were there, EMS responders, first responders? They went down to the basement with you. Why? And why? Like the way you asked her, you were panicked. If you left and that baby was eating dinner, one was laying down and she was carrying the other baby, why were you in such a panic? You know, like
Wait,
it
he's
just
not
tells
eating. They
me
weren't eating because he said they was eating chicken nuggets, but when they did the
that
autopsy, they had nothing in their stomach.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and the CVS bag, like
Was
if it
under the
was like he
trays.
said, exactly that me, I pictured, okay, so you walked up in that house, you took that tray from that baby, you set the bag down, you took that tray, you put that tray where you set that bag down, and you did what you did. And the timing alone, like, okay, maybe Lindsay being in the snow and her injury, okay, cool. But that baby was able to be revived. Even though he passed
Mm-hmm.
3 days later, he was able to be revived. The other two weren't. Why? The timing. Like, there's no way that she did all of this and
In
had
10
enough time for
minutes.
that baby to be revived.
Yeah, in 10 minutes. All of that in 10 minutes. That's
Exactly.
3 kids plus yourself in 10 minutes? No way.
Exactly. Right. And even that 10 minutes, because there's a dispute on that. They're saying that 10 minutes is the time unaccounted from when he left the house and went to CVS. But they believe when he was on the phone with her at CVS is when those crimes were taking place.
Now,
Bitch hit me with it.
somebody got a theory that said that he did what he did, and he probably locked one of the kids in the office with her phone and said, play with it, don't move, whatever. But so when he called it looked like he was calling Lindsay, whatever. But that he panicked because when he called, like the baby wasn't answering. She was trying to, or he or she, I forgot which one he locked in the office, but they were trying to find the mom, this and that. The door wouldn't open. Like, they're saying that he might have did 2 of the kids, then went to CVS, come back, and did 1 of the kids and her, is what one of somebody's theory is. And the other thing is that his evidence is everywhere, but her DNA isn't. Like, why aren't they looking at that? And then
Exactly.
the left-handed part, she
Yep.
right-handed.
Yeah,
The
the
way
left-handed
that the
part.
kid, is left-handed. So,
And the thyroid being crushed from the back.
Yeah, from the back, not even the front. So it's like, nah, dude, y'all evidence is like an OJ trial, bro. Your evidence ain't fucking matching up with what's going on.
Exactly. You
It's
went
gonna
with
be.
what was better because really, like if he didn't have any ties, then they would have went after him. But remember, he was already seeing his new wife. Okay, he
Since
was already cheating on
2010.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So they can miss us with this whole that he didn't do this, and the fact that he's not trying. Like I've explained, because they keep saying, oh, Reddington, nobody's denying she did it, because they would never stand a chance in court if they did. That is not the way you can go. You got 3 dead babies. They're not trying to hear somebody say, I didn't do it. That's how they're going to look at that. So they're going to go with what they can. But hopefully this trial will result where Patrick can't get anything from that lawsuit. Like, he might not be able to be criminally charged, but if they can find any, like, where he had any culpability in it, then he won't get that lawsuit. He won't get that money that he immediately filed for malpractice against Lindsay's doctors.
Lindsay should get that money because it was against her.
She filed her own separate one for the loss of her husband and blah, blah, blah. But like the way that man can get on trial or on stand and just speak, never shed a tear.
The way he's fidgeting gives it away. You seen how he was fidgeting?
Yes, you see his chest through his suit. You can see his chest. His heart is beating out of his chest. He's hella nervous.
He was sweating buckshots in that suit he was wearing.
That's what he keeps saying. Well, I don't remember. I'm not sure I remember, because your real answers to that question would make you look suspicious as fuck. It's sprayed everywhere. What do you mean it's sprayed? That's speaking like you were there.
There, exactly. How do you know it's sprayed? That's what I was telling Miss Ivory. It's like, how does he know it's sprayed? Wouldn't you say it was splattered on the wall? You know what I mean? How do you know what it literally did?
Exactly. And when you look at him when he says, you can tell he said, "Oh shit," in his brain, because he immediately like fumbles out that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
And that one doctor, that's their friend, that lady. When he said, how do you come to a murder trial and you didn't prep your notes? How do you not have your notes? Like, do you not understand how serious this is? That lady's a friend of him and the new wife.
Yep. Oh, and exactly.
Everyone's connected to him and the new wife. Like, Lindsay don't have a chance. Because everyone they know that has to do with this case is testifying against her. They're all fucking friends partying on yachts together.
The lead detective was on the yacht with him. But the ER physician, is that who you're talking about?
I think so. No, they had the woman that's a friend of theirs and some other guy that's up there that's a friend of theirs.
I went and did the research myself. Yes, I got the screenshots. That fucking ER physician, whatever, is fucking friends on Facebook with the new wife.
Yeah, her, the blonde.
Literally.
Yep, that's their friend. So of course she's gonna be against her. They all trying to pin it on her so this man can live a new life. I think's the fuck not.
Exactly. I don't look. That wife and like the way it just looks like he just thinks he just got him a better carbon copy. Like that woman, if went down how we're alleging, like girl or boy, she will never be anything like Lindsay. You will never have anything like her, because Lindsay would have never done what y'all did.
No.
She would have never done. That's an evil that, like, people, I don't know how many crazy ass cases we're gonna have to see happen before people get with the ball. That shit could be fine.
But that's like the dude last 2 weeks ago that did the same thing to his wife Lindsay, and he's freaking Patrick, and he tried the same thing. She had postpartum, so I found her in the shower and she herself. Guess what? They weren't buying it. He's arrested. He's in jail.
But I bet, had it been a little bit different, like I get their names are Pat and Lindsay, but the cases ain't the same. Like
no, he tried to do this. No, I'm saying this. He tried to blame postpartum on her too. Is what I'm saying. He's trying to use that she was on medicine and on postpartum from the kid as well, and that's bullshit.
And I hope that like they don't ever. I don't think they'll get. When I first heard about it, what I thought was like it was a legit reversed Patrick and Lindsay case where it was Patrick and trying to claim psychosis, because for the first time in my life, when I gave birth to my last child, I shit y'all not, I could have slapped the doctor. They came in and turned to that man talking about, And just so you know, postpartum can happen in the dads too. And we want you to know that we're here for you. And when we would go to the baby's first visits, the doctors are asking him, how are you doing, Dad? Are you okay? I slap all of y'all. He is fine. He ain't no type of
Exactly. He ain't the one with the 17 staples in his stomach. I am, bitch.
he is just fine. Okay. I'm the one up every night. I'm the one struggling here.
Yeah, mine never got up and changed diapers or fed the baby. I got up, changed diapers, and fed the baby because he had to be at work. So he ain't never got up and helped me with the baby or nothing. Hell no.
After 5 a.m. He leaves at 6. Okay. But I got that hour at least.
Yes, indeed. But I'm gonna go back because Bay's here. I just wanted to come up. I am watching the trial as we speak. But yeah, I'm seeing all the inconsistencies, and it's just no. There's no way. And I know how men can use that against women. I've seen movies like that where they make the woman believe she's crazy when she's not, just like you said. So they got to video it, and then they realize what's really happening. Look what happened all the way on freaking The Sixth Sense. You may not remember this movie. The little girl passed away, right? And the only way they found out that how she passed away was because the little boy saw the ghost and she pointed out where a tape was. If they wouldn't have put the tape in the VCR, they would have never seen the woman pouring the pine sol in the girl's soup.
Exactly.
She would have got away with it. You never know. You know what I'm saying? People are making people sick and people don't realize it. The other girl, her mama made her paralyzed because she was giving her horse tranquilizers in a pill form. And the girl is like, what is this for? She said, for animals. Why do you have it? She's like, what? Her mama been giving her that for so long, girl can't walk.
Exactly. Or just for example, when the man framed the wife for his murder and she went and did her sentence, got out, it actually did smirk his ass because the double jeopardy law,
Yeah, Double Jeopardy. That's my favorite movie. I love Double Jeopardy. Yep, she found him in New Orleans. Another reason I don't like this idea, when they told Patrick, why did you keep the medicine in your car instead of getting rid of it? That right there is suspicious. Number two, Lindsay wouldn't have crushed up Seroquel and put it in her drink. She wouldn't have did that. She's a nurse.
And then put it all neatly back up and, set everything.
Yeah, you're
up.
going to go jump out the window, but let me clean up because I don't want the crime scene to look that bad. Said who?
Exactly.
You were supposed to discard the medicine, flush it down the toilet, or bring it to a doctor to get rid of. Why do you have it in your car like it's fucking Tic Tacs, friend?
Yep.
But I'm going to go finish watching the trial, and I'm going to go lay with Bay. I'm going to talk to you later. Bye.
Sinead723 and Proud Mimi. Are you wanting up? Mimi, is that you? Or are you just like a proud Gibby or grandma? Hey, comment section. Now I am wanting to keep it relevant to Lindsay Clancy, but I will just answer quickly to y'all's questions. I wasn't involved in that trial, and when he got with her and I found out about it, I told his ass how I felt. And we thought he listened eventually because he did break up that engagement. Now, why in the fuck he went back? I mean, only God knows, right? And him. But right now, they are split. She is living with Rod and Christy. I'm not speaking on where Aurora's at because I have comments of people telling me where she lives, where their house is and blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all are looking for a location of this child. That's kind of scary to me. Like I've said over and over again, she's fine. She's not with Gypsy. I've said that. So that should have been enough. I don't need to give y'all an actual location so y'all can try to pinpoint the address of this child. That's creepy and scary. And I don't know if y'all realize how that comes off. Now, and I'm fine. I am just fine. Should post a text on screen saying Lindsay Clancy talk only. I tried, but it's not like whenever I hit the background thing, it's just doing a little circle. It's not letting me do anything. But so that's all I want to say about Gypocrit. That's my name for her. And I'm gonna continue this trial. I'm gonna press play.
Is that right?
Yes, the executive office of the governor.
And you offered an opinion in that case, correct?
Yes.
And was that testimony or by way of a declaration? Or a report?
It was a report, and then there was a deposition.
And so you were part of a hearing with the court in Florida to determine whether your ultimate opinions could be considered in the case, correct?
I don't think that there was a specific separate hearing as to that point.
Okay.
My recollection is that in the phase of a summary judgment proceeding, that the use of my testimony was discussed in the summary judgment documents from each side.
And then ultimately, your opinion wasn't utilized by the court, right?
If I recall the statement of the court in the document, it was that Dr. Mack is not an expert in this case, or it may have said Dr. Mack is not a qualified expert in this case.
And why was that?
My recollection of the case, which is now almost 15 years ago, was that the information that I was aware of in terms of the rate of substance use in individuals who received TANF was nationwide and was not specific to Florida.
And the issue was a Florida TANF case, right? Having to do with residents in the state of Florida. So as far as the limitations there and your testimony in these types of cases could be nationwide. In that particular case, it was just that you didn't have enough information about the residents in that state, correct?
Well, that was
Okay, if you can answer that, then go ahead.
my understanding is that was one of the elements by which the court determined or made the statement that it did.
And you were offering some opinions about addiction during that time period, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Had nothing to do with criminal responsibility.
Correct.
Now, you talked a lot with defense counsel about the DSM, so I don't want your perfect domain.
Whoops.
Attorney Reddington to a particular part of the bipolar and related disorder chapter having to do with specifiers. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you directed him to page 173, which referred to the specifier with peripartum onset. Can you just explain to us first what is a specifier when we're talking about the DSM?
Specifiers are a way in which the DSM allows a diagnostician to highlight certain details of the individual's presentation. But as I was mentioning the other day, psychiatric classification nowadays refers to the larger presenting symptoms that the individual has, and specifiers can be added on. So a person can have a severe mood disorder, and then one can add on the specifier with postpartum onset, or atypical features, or other specifiers that have been defined.
And so when you were referring to page 173, where it starts the long paragraph about with peripartum onset, is that the portion of the specifier categories for bipolar related disorders where we're talking about postpartum periods?
Yes, there is a defined way in which a person can add as a diagnosis whether or not there was onset in that particular time frame.
And that's where we find the 4-week timeline, correct?
Correct.
And it also talks about different mood episodes, including manic and depressive episodes in that section, right?
That's right.
And that section also talks about the fact that mood episodes could present with psychotic symptoms and without psychotic symptoms, or psychotic features, I should say. Is that right?
Right. Bipolar disorder is a disorder of mood. abnormal mood is what the diagnostician observes and is aware of. And if there is a way to determine that it's a major depressive episode or a manic episode or a hypomanic episode, that will help to determine if this severe mood condition is bipolar or major depressive disorder.
And so in that regard, the same specifier is also part of the major depressive category, correct? As
right.
a specifier.
As I said, the specifiers provide detail, but they are not the, so to speak, the major element of the diagnosis. The major element of the diagnoses in DSM are the observable major symptoms and signs.
Well, I'm asking about just what's contained within those specifiers, because you and counsel went back and forth quite a bit on Friday about what's in there and what's not in the DSM when it comes to the peripartum onset. But as far as in both the specifier for bipolar and depressive disorder, there are a number of those features that you were discussing that is in the DSM as a specifier.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those are presentation with psychotic features, the frequency of occurrence or reoccurrence of the peripartum onset for these disorders, right? That's in there.
The description has that, yes.
As well as the risk of postpartum episodes being greater when people have history of depressive disorders or bipolar disorder. That's within that specifier for each of those two chapters, is it not?
Yes, that portion of the specifier is a description of what's been observed over time. It's not necessarily the criteria, but it's the observations that have been so commonly observed that they were able to write that in the manual.
So this concept of a peripartum onset,
The
or
Sanderson sisters are
we've
matching.
been using it as postpartum interchangeably, it's within the DSM-5, right?
Yes, the DSM-5 provides
That's the,
a manner by which
DA,
to make a diagnosis that provides this specification or highlights this detail of the individual's illness.
And as far as your conclusions, again, when you're asked to do an evaluation, do you rely on other people's conclusions about diagnosis when making your own diagnosis?
It's important to understand what others have observed and what they're concerned about. And then as a physician, one will make one's own diagnosis.
And so in this case, you came to the conclusion that the defendant presented with a major depressive episode, right?
Correct.
And you relied on diagnostic criteria in the major depressive disorder category. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that was the diagnostic criteria that I used to support that diagnosis.
And counsel went through with you today a number of different, I think he called them symptoms of postpartum depression. But as far as major depressive disorder, what are the 9 general symptoms that you see, or you can find 5 or more of, to find that somebody suffers from a major depressive disorder?
So a major depressive episode is defined, and this is parallel to the description I was giving earlier of a manic episode. They're both problems of mood. They're both discrete periods of mood problems. So a major depressive episode would be a 2-week discrete change in a person's mood, and you have to have at least 5 of 9 different symptoms or signs, and it has to be persistent, and it has to be most of the days. So the 9 include starting out with anhedonia, meaning lack of feeling pleasure. Secondly, actually feeling depressed mood. It can be feelings of guilt or worthlessness. And then it also may include problems with thinking about death or suicidality. Furthermore, problems with sleep, eating, what we call energy, psychomotor activity, either psychomotor slowing or agitation. And then all these, you have to have 5 out of these 9.
Right.
in order to meet the major depressive episode.
And I think maybe you might have missed one: diminished ability to think or concentrate. Is that one?
So concentration.
Concentration.
So
a lot of the symptoms that counsel read to you are symptoms that are in the category of a major depressive disorder. Is that correct?
I just want to pause real
yeah,
quick.
this
This is where I be getting confused. Sometimes, like I'm wondering, like, are they on our side, or are they just that dumb? Because I don't understand their line of questioning right now. You're literally having him attest that all of the symptoms she was having is a part of a major depressive disorder, whatever. It was a mental health issue. Are you really gonna like go off of which one you call it when they have misdiagnoses every single day? Like, that's why I don't know, like, what they're, and these are women, like, I get that they're the assistant, whatever. So like, maybe they don't have a choice to be up there doing their job, but so they're doing it like they're failing it on purpose. Because if they're not, I mean, y'all really need to train better, because you're failing, and it looks like on purpose to me. But anyways,
this is the method of making the diagnosis of a major depressive episode.
So when you were asked on cross-examination about postpartum depression, and you kept answering that you found her to have a depressive disorder, are those the symptoms that you were speaking of when you were saying you found a major depressive disorder?
Can I object?
Overruled.
Leading?
Correct.
No, overruled. I'll allow it.
I have nothing further.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything further?
Just briefly, sir, are you suggesting
that's
that
what I mean, man. They
my
gotta be in on
office
it.
had any control over when you were able to go visit Lindsay in the hospital?
Action.
No, overruled.
I don't know if your office was involved, but I imagine, so I don't know.
You don't know.
I imagine your office was aware,
Thank you.
but I don't know that you had control.
Doctor, I think you've answered the question. All right. Next. Anything further?
Thank you, Judge.
Anything further, Como? All right. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do not like that.
Members of the jury, we're going to take the morning break at this point. And we're going to come back, continue with the Commonwealth's rebuttal case. We'll have a witness who'll go on the stand after we get there. All right. So we'll take the break at this time. Thank you.
Lindsay looks healthier today. The fact that there's in between days where she looks, healthy, and other days you can tell she's having a rough day. Like, you can tell she's still suffering, and she's always going to suffer. But what I mean is, like, she's still got, like, where if she were to be found not guilty by the mental illness, it's not automatic that she gets life in the psychiatric. It's automatically assumed that the state will apply for her to be admitted, because obviously they will, but that's not even, like, how it's written, that's not even automatic. Like, the state still has to immediately, motion for her to be admitted to the psychiatric facility, which they will if that's what happens. It's just how the law is written. It's not something that comes automatic. It's something that they have to initiate. So, and then she would be there until they decided she was healthy enough. Now, given how long it was since the crime happened, and whatever her health now, she will get out one day, and I just don't know how long that would be. But she's still suffering. Like, you can still tell it. She ain't getting out no time soon. She's still going through it mentally. Let's see if I can fast forward here. I don't want to stay